When God provides in the impossible. 2 Kings 7. Have you ever faced a situation so desperate that it felt completely hopeless? No way out. No solution. No provision in sight. In 2 Kings 6 and 7, we find one of the most dramatic stories in the Bible. A story of famine, fear, doubt, and miraculous provision. But this story is not just about physical hunger. It is also a powerful picture of salvation and the gospel. Let's walk through it together. In 2 Kings 6, the Bible tells us that the Syrians besieged Samaria in the northern kingdom of Israel. No people or food could enter or leave the city. A severe famine came upon Samaria. The situation became so desperate that people were eating donkeys' heads and doves' dung just to survive. It even reached the horrifying point where mothers ate their own children. The king, overwhelmed and distressed, summoned the prophet Elisha, demanding a solution. Then in 2 Kings 7 verse 1 KJV, Elisha boldly declares, "Hear ye the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord, tomorrow about this time shall a measure of fine flour be sold for a shekel, and 2 measures of barley for a shekel, in the gate of Samaria." In other words, within 24 hours there would be abundance. But the king's captain responded with doubt. 2 Kings 7 verse 2 KJV. Then a lord on whose hand the king leaned answered the man of God, and said, Behold, if the Lord would make windows in heaven, might this thing be? And he said, Behold, thou shalt see it with thine eyes, but shalt not eat thereof. Sometimes we react the same way. When God promises provision, breakthrough, or deliverance, we question how it could possibly happen. And like the captain, doubt can cause us to miss out on God's blessing. The scene then shifts to 4 lepers sitting outside the city gate. They were already outcasts, cut off from society and from hope. In desperation they said, "Why sit we here until we die?" They decided to surrender themselves to the Syrian army, hoping for mercy and food. If they were killed, they would die anyway. If they lived, they might survive. But God had already gone before them. The Lord caused the Syrian army to hear the sound of chariots and horses, the noise of a great army, and they fled in fear, leaving behind their tents, food, gold, silver, clothing, and all their belongings. When the lepers arrived, the camp was empty. What they expected to be death became provision. God does the same for us. In situations where all seems lost, He opens doors we never imagined. He provides in ways we could never create ourselves. But this story is not just about physical provision. It is also a picture of God's kingdom. We are like the lepers and the people of Samaria, spiritually desperate, unable to save ourselves. When God provides for our spiritual needs, forgiveness, salvation, justification, the gift of righteousness and sanctification, we are overwhelmed with gratitude. The lepers, after eating and gathering treasure, realized something important. 2 Kings 7 verse 9 KJV. Then they said one to another, We do not well. This day is a day of good tidings, and we hold our peace. They understood that good news must be shared. In the same way, when we receive the good news of Jesus Christ, we cannot keep it to ourselves. When the lepers told the king, he initially thought it was a trap. In 2 Kings 7 verse 12, we are told that the king suspected the Syrians were hiding to ambush them. He sent messengers with chariots to investigate. When they returned with confirmation that the camp was truly empty, the people rushed out and plundered the Syrian camp. Just as Elisha had prophesied, food became abundant. But the captain who doubted was trampled in the gate as the people rushed out. The prophecy was fulfilled. He saw it with his eyes, but he did not partake of it. Not everyone who hears the gospel believes it. Some will doubt. Some will reject Jesus and what he did on the cross. Some will see the truth but never receive it. The question is, which one are we? Will we respond like the doubting captain? Or will we respond like the lepers, who received the blessing and shared the good news? If you are in a desperate season today, remember this. God specializes in impossible situations. When all seems lost, He is still working. And if you have received the good news of salvation, don't keep silent. This is a day of good tidings.